Want It and Enjoy It, my 8-week group coaching program for women who are ready to actually desire sex and experience pleasure, is open for enrollment now through Friday, May 1st at midnight Pacific time. If you are ready to stop avoiding sex and start actually enjoying it, this program is for you. Check out the link in the show notes. Want It and Enjoy It is open for enrollment this week through May 1st. And I wanted to come on here and give you a little bonus episode because a couple of weeks ago, I finished the most recent cohort of Want It and Enjoy It. And I asked the ladies to share with me some thoughts about the course. And I wanted to share these with you. So if you are considering the Want It and Enjoy It program and you're just not sure if it's for you, this podcast episode, I think, is going to be very helpful to you because I am going to be reading their responses directly. I only edited for typos or just to shorten a response because it got very personal. Now, I did, of course, ask permission to share these with you. So I have full permission to share these, and I'm going to be sharing them anonymously. So the first question that I asked was, what was the most helpful part of this program? The coaching sessions were extremely helpful for me. The recorded live coaching calls. I think the support of the coaching calls and just being with other women going through similar things was the most beneficial. I have to say the coaching calls were incredibly helpful. I liked the group coaching calls, being able to ask questions. The weekly coaching calls were great to hear what others are dealing with, similar issues, and to hear Ellen's coaching responses. I wasn't able to attend them live and I still received a ton of benefit. Just knowing I'm not alone in this struggle was the most helpful part of this program. I appreciated knowing that I wasn't alone in my struggles, that there are many other women out there who are struggling with very similar, if not the exact same things, and that we can support one another in our journey toward fullness in the Catholic Church through our vocation in the sacrament of marriage. Now, I grouped these, so obviously those were all about the live coaching calls. Now, Want It and Enjoy It includes, both at the basic and the premium level, weekly live coaching calls, and these are recorded, and so you can come live, you can ask questions, you can listen to other people get coached, you can attend anonymously, you can change your name on Zoom, or you can listen to the recordings. And actually, many of the women in the course weren't able to attend live, but told me that they received great benefit from watching the recordings of the calls, and they did not expect that. Now, some more answers into what was the most helpful part of this program. Quite a few women found the one-on-one check-ins, weekly check-ins, to be the most helpful part. Now, this is something that is included in the premium version of Want It and Enjoy It. And this is a weekly check-in form that you fill out. And I actually respond with a personalized video answering your specific questions, cheering you on for your wins, helping to guide you through what the next part of the course that you should go through, and just kind of navigating more of those personal issues. So these are some of the responses that I received from the ladies. I really liked the one-on-one feedback the best. The personal responses to the check-ins were such a gift. The weekly check-ins, getting individual support, was the most helpful part of this program. All right, let's keep going with what was the most helpful part of this program. These are just some more of the ladies in this group. Mindset stuff. The 10 minutes of writing down all my thoughts about sex brought me to tears. It helped me to identify some deep thoughts I knew were there, but actually try to process and work through. Also, the coaching, being able to ask you specific questions about my personal situation. The practical steps and advice from Ellen were the most helpful part. I think the most helpful part of this program was the conversations and practices around taking charge of our thoughts. I've often felt very defeated when it comes to working on sex. Why bother? This is never going to work. I never feel aroused. And it's been such an important reminder that our thoughts are just thoughts and not an objective truth. We can change how we think. Our thoughts can be lighter. We can choose to make things more fun. We can choose to focus on gratitude more than our failure. And each of those shifts will make sex better and intimacy more possible. I loved the way the sex part of life was tied to scripture and the faith. And I just a few more of these responses. A couple of the ladies said, I love that we have lifetime access. I loved not having any time pressure on going through the course. Yet lifetime access is something that is included with Want to Enjoy It. You get lifetime access to the course materials and the recordings of the coaching calls. And then last but not least, One of the ladies said all of it. Your group calls, videos in the course, and the check-in follow-up video replies have all been great. Now, I also asked these ladies to share a win with me. And so I wanted to share with you guys some of these wins. Now, I just pulled out some of them because there were so many. But I thought that these would be really helpful to see the real wins that real women had. Realizing that an event from 22 years ago was weighing so heavy on me and causing me so many issues in my marriage, your coaching, Ellen, made me pray through that. It's been good. I feel like a heavy weight is gone just from bringing it up to my husband and him saying he has also been wrong. Healing has happened and will continue. I have so many. I'd say overall, I have a lot more peace when it comes to sex. I feel a lot better about talking about what I need for sex, more sleep, or just specific things that I want. I'm learning to be more direct and not think of sex so negatively. Really realizing how much I needed to manage my thoughts and mindset, especially around sex. Want it and enjoy it has been a step in the right direction in our marriage. This past week was our one available week for sex this cycle, and partway into the week before I went to get ready for bed, instead of wondering, does he want to have sex tonight? Should I shower and prepare? If I do shower and prepare, will he feel like he has to, even though he doesn't want to? If I don't shower and prepare, will he feel like he can't initiate even if he wants to? This is literally the same cycle of questions that I go through in my head every day of every available week, and I never feel sure of what I should do or what he wants. This time, I actually spoke up and just asked him. It's hard to convey how big that is or how hard it was for me to open my mouth, speak up, and ask. Harder than it should be, but it just is. I was so proud of myself. Again, I'm reading through wins from the ladies. So many, most especially my mindset shift and a deeper appreciation for my spouse. I've consistently had pain-free sex. I also believe that my arousal time has decreased because I haven't been dreading sex all day, or I've been able to be more present during foreplay to help in the arousal. We made a loose schedule for when we have sex during the week and have kept it flexible for if it doesn't work out on the planned day. But having a general expectation of when we're going to have sex and what kinds of things we're going to do during sex has been really helpful for taking pressure off. Also, I've been prioritizing sleep better overall. I am more aware of my thoughts about and during sex. I'm able to recognize some of my thoughts as lies, and I'm working to replace them with the truth. I wore lingerie for the first time. I had some hard but fruitful conversations about sex with my husband. I learned a ton about mindset, pleasure, and sex ed. I got the courage to lean in on my PT and start dilator training at my doctor's recommendation. I have tangible action steps for how to keep growing and learning. I would say a win has been some really lovely conversations with my husband. Since sex has been such a pain point in our marriage, having these conversations where we encourage one another and make plans to try ways to make sex feel less heavy and scary has been really good. My mindset towards sex has gotten better. I was able to orgasm while my husband was penetrating me. I felt so accomplished. My win is the great conversations that my husband and I are having. We even let out some worrisome resentments and forgave each other. Now, I also asked the ladies, how did you feel about sex before you joined this program, and how do you feel now? I felt hopeless, and it just wasn't worth it. I have my hope back now. I honestly dreaded sex. I knew it was good for our marriage, but it didn't feel that way. When we scheduled sex, I would have a lot of anxiety leading up to that day. It felt like sex was only for my husband, and if I could be celibate the rest of my life, I would. I don't dread sex anymore, and I don't have so much anxiety leading up to it. When negative or anxious thoughts do come up, I'm able to calm myself down. I've also started sharing more of this with my husband, something I was kind of afraid of before, but has been so good for our marriage. Before, I almost felt like just giving up on sex altogether. Now I have a sense of peace just knowing that sex can be good. I can desire it, and God will help me. I felt pressure and resentment about sex. I really didn't have myself on the scoreboard either when it came to my pleasure. Now I am learning to want it and enjoy it. I felt inadequate. I desired it, but not as much as I felt I should. It was good, but not as great as I thought it should be. And I felt like I was the one holding us back from great sex. Now I feel hopeful, motivated to keep improving, and equipped with the tools I need. I dreaded it, and I really felt a lot of pressure because it seemed like it took forever for me to get in the mood or aroused. I still sometimes struggle with the gut reaction of, I don't want to do this when my husband initiates, but now it's much more likely for me to have excitement and anticipation when thinking about sex. I almost never really wanted to have sex. It felt more like something I should do for my husband. I now feel less pressure and more like it's something that's good for both of us. Before, ambivalent at best, mostly negative. Sex was always meh before pregnancy and has been unsuccessful postpartum. I was scared and anxious about returning to physical intimacy. Now I can recognize my thoughts and hold them at arm's length. I'm learning to identify the lies, take them captive, and replace them with truth. I have been much more able to have fun and be intimate with my husband. Before, I felt sad that I could not orgasm while my husband was penetrating me, and I thought this was going to always be the case. Now that I've been able to do that once, I am excited for this journey with my husband to improve our sex life in the days and years to come. I'm feeling very positive and excited, and I actually look forward to having sex with my husband. I think mindset is already changing. Before, the mindset was, what is wrong with me? How come I don't want it more? And now it's, I can grow in wanting it more. I am a normal, healthy woman. Lord, I want to want it more. Help me grow in desire. And another question that I asked these ladies was, what would you say to a woman who is hesitant to join, want it, and enjoy it? God put it on your heart, so just go for it. And just a reminder, I'm reading these verbatim. I did not write these. If you're unsatisfied with your sex life in any way and ready to do the work, please join this program. It has been so good for my marriage. My husband has noticed the changes too. I went from never wanting sex again to planning for it on purpose twice in one day. The support and understanding you receive in this program is truly life-changing. There is so much good. That "so" was capitalized. That's why I said that like that. There is so much good, helpful, practical advice. It is well worth your time and money. My husband was so enthusiastic I'd join and check it out, and I didn't know if one more thing on my plate in this season was a good idea. I am so thankful he encouraged me. We have seen growth in our conversations, sex life, and holiness over the course of this program, and I feel like we have barely scratched the surface when it came to the videos and extras offered. It's worth it. One tiny tool or change can make a big difference. Just think what a whole toolbox leading to many changes can do. Everything in this course is very Catholic in its approach and completely moral. When do you get an opportunity to be mentored by someone who has thought through these issues prayerfully and through the lens of her education and formation? Do it. The money is practically nothing if you consider how the rest of your marriage will be vastly improved. I'd say it's great because you can share as much or as little as you want about your struggles with sex, and you can still benefit a lot from listening to others be coached. You get so much. There's a wealth of information in this course, and I didn't even scratch the surface in the 8 weeks. You get access to the course for life, and you could spend your life learning and growing from the information. It is an investment, but growing in this area is worth prioritizing. I would encourage her to go for it. If someone is looking in to want it and enjoy it, it means that you know something is missing. Sex could be better, less stressful, more enjoyable, more unitive. Whatever it is that you secretly wish could be different, and working towards that goal with a community of women who have also taken the leap to be brave and ask their questions and change things and have important conversations will bear fruit. If you want to have a better sex life and better communication with your husband, this will be a great investment you'll make to work toward that goal with amazing ROI. I learned so much about sex thanks to Ellen, and I now feel empowered to improve my sex life with my husband. It's so exciting, literally. I also asked the ladies what stood out most overall from this program. And here's some of the responses. I loved the support and sense of community. I loved bringing faith into it as well. It has been a bit weird for me in the past to have God and sex in the same conversation, so it was helpful, I think, to have other Catholic women who also struggle with sex and talk about it. The fact that I'm far from alone in my issues and struggles stood out the most. Good sex is life-changing and holy. It brings not only myself and my spouse together more, but it also helps me know myself better. I love my kids more deeply, set better boundaries, be more at peace with myself, and build a better, more healthy sense of community with others outside my home. Just hearing so many women talk more openly about their struggles with sex made me feel like I'm not alone. I did not expect mindset to be the main thing I needed to work on, but that is the one module I camped out on. One thing is that it's so easy to feel very isolated in marital problems. Like, surely everyone I know is having sex with their husband on the regular, and I just don't know what I'm doing. But this information really isn't readily available or accessible. And then two major parts of the course are the weekly live coaching calls. So there are 8 of them. They're scheduled once a week. And so I asked the ladies, what did you like about the weekly live coaching calls? So these are some of their responses. I think they were the game changer with this program. The live coaching definitely helped me a lot, but even just listening to some of the other questions, the other women who were getting live coaching was extremely helpful. Oftentimes there was a question I hadn't thought to ask, but applied to me as well. So it was just helpful to be in a group setting in that way. I liked the ability to ask questions if you had any, or to just listen if you wished. Never having participated in any type of coaching before, I was moved by Ellen's open and forthright responses, excellent listening, and clarifying questions. I was also moved by the gift of the other women. I think the devil would love us to think we do this in isolation, and it sometimes seems that way, but their presence proved otherwise. And frankly, their questions and coaching were frequently the questions and coaching I was needed. They were very helpful, so thankful for the replay option. These were awesome, and I'm so thankful they were recorded because I was never able to log on for the live session. Hearing others being coached was great. Love, love, love hearing others' things and realizing I was not alone, or someone would ask about something that I also experienced but hadn't identified as an area for improvement. I was very impressed with Ellen's ability to speak very thoughtfully and insightfully into each question, especially the live questions with which there was a great amount of variety. Wow. Ellen, thank you for sharing this gift and the fruit of all the hard work you've put into being able to do this as a coach. And then I also asked the ladies that had access to the weekly check-ins, which are a premium part of the course. So there is an option to have a weekly check-in with me. And so you fill out a weekly check-in form, and then with your wins and your questions and what you're struggling with. And I respond with a personalized video giving you suggestions, answering your questions and things like that. So I asked what did they like about the weekly check-ins. The weekly check-ins were so helpful. It was definitely a little bit of accountability too. I liked that aspect of it. I was motivated more to work on stuff because I knew I had a check-in to fill out at the end of the week. And I really appreciated the videos. They felt very personal and were very helpful to me working out some of my struggles. I liked the weekly wins. I thought the questions in the check-in were helpful. I loved the weekly check-ins. I loved getting my questions answered by you. These were awesome, timely, and very encouraging to me. I loved the personal video response, such a gift that you take the time to do that. I appreciated the connection and encouragement that it provided. Thank you. The weekly check-ins were super helpful to keep me accountable. I definitely think I had more sex than I would have in the first trimester because I kept thinking about the weekly check-in. I like that it allowed for more personal coaching. I love how it personalized the course. I like that you answered back with a video instead of typing. And I like that I had the ability to ask my own questions that you helped answer. I really appreciated and enjoyed the weekly check-ins. They were so helpful. It's great to receive personalized feedback along the way each week. So those are just some of the responses from ladies who took this course. And again, I only edited for like slight clarity when something maybe didn't make any sense or had a typo or something like that. But those were words directly from women who recently took Want It and Enjoy It. And so I hope that that was helpful for you in maybe distilling some of the fears that you have about the program, or any questions that you might have had about where the benefit is and things like that. I am so excited about this next cohort. It is going to be absolutely incredible, and I would love to have you be a part of it. There is, of course, a link in the show notes to sign up for the program at either the basic or the premium level. The premium level does have a cap on it. And as I am recording this video several weeks prior to it going out, I actually don't know how many spots we have left in that premium version. But I do know that it is very possible that that could sell out before the week is done. So if you are interested in that premium option with personalized coaching on a weekly basis, make sure that you get to that as soon as you can. You can, of course, reach out to me with any questions. And again, Want It and Enjoy It is open for enrollment through May 1st. If you happen to listen to this episode after the enrollment period has closed, that is okay because the waitlist is open. So you can click the link that is in the show notes right now, and you can join the waitlist to be the first group of people notified when I open enrollment again.